didn't notice the time passing at all. How are you?
I'm very good, and you?
Good, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Police have widened their search for the missing teenager, Meredith Laval, for her involvement in the bombing of a post office.
Where is she? For your first time as a director, you set the bar pretty high. I mean, adapting a Pulitzer Prize. Why this choice? It was risky.
I didn't approach it thinking it was risky. I just approached it thinking it was really good work. You know, the writing was really strong. The story was very strong and really hit me in the heart when I read it. And so I sort of approached it thinking that it was great, you know, as opposed to, oh my God, this is a silly idea. I didn't think so. I'd rather have cut my teeth on a first project like this on something that's, you know, based on a really, really amazing piece of writing than not, I suppose.
And you thought of Jennifer right away?
Jennifer was attached long before me.
Oh,
it's
okay.
sort of Jennifer's project that I price scanned. Yes.
So what did you think of this role, especially this role of a mother who gives up on a child?
I loved the role. I thought she was a very interesting and complex woman, and I had a lot of compassion for her and what she goes through. I felt like it's really her daughter who abandons her. You know, her daughter rejects her and rejects her love, and I think that completely devastates Dawn, and she can't really survive it. So after many years of waiting and hoping that she'll come home and that they could be a family again, she ultimately sort of tears everything apart and builds herself back up the only way she can think of.
I also don't think that she does, you know. I don't think anything in this film is black and white like that. I don't think anything in the novel is black and white like that. She says, why are you going to give up on her? But we can see in Jennifer's performance, and we can feel in what Dawn is doing with her life, that she's not able to do that anyway. She's fooling herself as much as anyone else, if you like. The facelift, the pain when she says it is evident. I don't think it's a woman who is turning her back on her daughter. She's just trying to struggle for a life, some sort of life. But I think she's broken by it as much as the Swede is, probably.
When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Mad world. Mad world.
There's a lot of theme in the book, but you choose to focus more on the relationship between the father and the daughter. Why?
I don't think I do. I think the story is... there's a very strong relationship between the father and daughter in the novel as well. And there's lots of interesting writing about a father, bearing in mind it was in the 1960s. He seems to be quite a progressive father. There's some really good... As a father myself, there's some really good parenting techniques that Roth writes about that make him quite an admirable father. You know, when she's disappearing to New York all the time, there's a section in the book which is conversation about going to New York #1, and they have a conversation about going to New York number 25, and the Swede is the one who's always saying, "We've got to talk to her. We've just got to keep talking. We've got to keep talking. We can't shut her down." He's a progressive father, I guess, for the 1960s. This is the through line, I suppose, is Swede here, but I don't think at the detriment of the other stories. I don't think so.
Even if the story happens in the 60s, I mean, I thought it's pretty similar to what's happening in France, for example, like the story of these teenager girls who, how can I say that, leave their family to become terrorists for the Islamic State. I mean, did you see that? I mean, it seems like the story repeats.
Yeah. Well, I think these stories do repeat, sadly, and not only this one, but the riot scenes in the film in Newark. There were race riots in Newark in '67 that we show in our movie, and there's this imagery is very similar to imagery that you can see on the news from cities in America today. African American men being beaten by white policemen or white National Guardsmen. These are things that seem to go round and round and round. It wasn't a reason why we made the film, and it wasn't I never thought, oh, this is a poignant story because this is still happening today. No, I feel like it was a film about a family in that time. I didn't want to make it too period looking. The production design and the costume design is so cleverly done that it's quite subliminal almost. It's correct, but we do slide from the late 40s into the 70s and then later on into the 90s. But it's not really in your face, you know. And I was more interested in that. It's an interesting time in America. It's an interesting time for these characters, for the sort of post-war generation that we represent, and then the new revolutionary 60s generation that Dakota represents.
Jennifer, was he a good director?
Yeah, he was a great director, and he was great to work with as an actor as well. It was a really fun experience. He was very collaborative and.
It's easier, I mean, for you to work as a director, being like an actor as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think so. When it comes to shooting this film, yeah, it was. We found it all together. You know, we would go on set and we would explore these scenes together, and it was nice. It was as exciting and fulfilling as I thought it would be. I mean, I had amazing actors to work with, and we do go on set, and you know, I would have an idea, I suppose, of how I'd imagined it, and would share that, and then we would see if it worked, and if it didn't, we'd try something else. And you know, as often as it did work, it didn't. So the film is full of all these great actors' input. It's all of us together.
So your next movie is with Jennifer again?
Yeah, if I was lucky, it would be. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.